Oh, yeah. Freak out. Yeah, I'm looking right into the video scope, And this is Macho Man, #1 Macho Man impersonator, past, present, future, yeah. And I'm here to tell you, you are watching 49er Minded with Bashar. Yeah, the cream of the crop. Dig it?
49er Minded. It's not just a thought process, but a way of life. 49er Minded. 49er Minded. I can't shake it. It's 49er mind that I got. It's 49er shine that I got. My psyche's on another Frisco Super Bowl. Don't sit slow, cause here we go with a super show. A red and gold session. About a red and gold obsession. With some well-controlled expressions. Let's talk about that win that we got. Who should have been in the slot? That's how it's been in the spot. Let's all that back, all that crack, all that straight fumble sack. Or just dial it on up if you wanna talk smack. It don't matter what the story on, as long as the story aligns with a 49er mind. 49er minded. It's not just a thought process, 49er minded, but a way of life. For sure. 49er minded. Way of life. 49er minded.
We are here. We're live. Welcome to another post-game edition of 49er Minded, where we get into the minds of 49er fans. The game was terrible. I get it. We lost, but I am happy because one of my really good friends who I met through my brother a few years ago, it happens to be my co-host tonight, Steve, who's all the way out in Texas. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right. Still faithful to the Bay, you know. Yeah, we faithful to the Bay. But that was a horrible game. I guess that's what we're gonna get into today. I was so looking forward to. That was like my day. It's like, okay, work, come home, spend time with the wife and the son, and then watch the Niner game. Chill out, watch the game. I worked out today too, so work out, come home. Anyway, it seems like I don't know. The last two games have just not been, and you could say, okay, Debo is not out there, Trent's not out there, but you have a stacked team of superstars. I just expected more. Brock Purdy needs what he's going through. Brock Purdy needs adversity. Every great quarterback has adversity. So I'm not going to blame him. I just, at the end of the day, if a company's failing, you could blame the employees, but it's going to be the management that's that's really the blame. And I feel like I was going to share this. I feel like Shanahan, when his scheme's not going perfectly to the way he schemes it, he just kind of throws his hands up. I feel like he did that in the Super Bowl. I felt like he did that in many games where he was just like, like Christian McCaffrey started kind of getting the ball rolling. He stopped handing it off. He used Elijah Mitchell once. It just, I don't know. I wish, I hope next week, the Sunday, will be better, but it was just an interesting game to the Vikings, man, that are not even a good team.
I know.
And they didn't even have a run game. All you have to do, and the thing is that Steve Wilks, right? Steve Wilks, why are you dialing up blitzes on third down when you have to stop the pass? And Kirk's getting the ball out quick, like a hot potato, man. So there's no reason why this dude's blitzing on third downs when you just have to stop the pass. It just doesn't make sense. Anyway, I'm done venting. I
got you. we're gonna keep going with it. It's not gonna. We got a ways to go, man. So, but let me say what's up to some people in the chat. A lot of people waiting patiently, and actually, I said I was going to start the show a bit later, but we were able to set up quicker than we initially anticipated, and we started the show a bit early, which is fine. Maybe some people are going to show up a little later, but to the people who are here, I'm going to show you guys some love. The 49er faithfuls always represented in the chat, and we appreciate you. We got Red Jet Shell. She says, tough break. Got to do way better on to Cincinnati. No time to lick wounds on a short week. I totally agree. Dan the Corman's here. What's up, bro? He says, I'm sorry, upsetting for sure. But to give credit to the Vikings, they outplayed us and Purdy. Keep your head up high. We had this same thing last season. We were 3-4 last year. We bounced back. We can do it again. True, true. We'll see how it goes. It's still a very, very long season. We
Yeah.
got Steve-O in here. He's looks disgusted, not saying much. We got Jeff Vander Holland Amsterdam said, Bashar, brother, good to hear you. Good to see you, man. Been a while since I see you on one of my lives in the chat. So that's good. It just it's terrible. The 49ers went down in Minnesota 17-22. I'm just gonna give you guys a rundown on the box score. So Purdy was 21 for 30. He wasn't terrible. I mean, he was good in many, many, many points and times in the game. One touchdown pass to CMC, which was really, really nice. 2 interceptions, I get it, and one of them was in a crunch time moment, which really sucked. He only got sacked once, actually. We were facing Daniil Hunter, who's the number one pass rusher in the NFL with 8 sacks on the Minnesota Vikings, and we were worried that Jalen Moore was playing in replacement for Trent Williams, who's an all-world player, and a lot of people don't like Jalen Moore. They were freaking out that he was going to play terrible. And you know what? He actually played pretty well in Trent Williams' absence. So, unfortunately, we lost. But hats off to him for not looking terrible and not having a decent game. CMC, in terms of the running game, Christian McCaffrey, he actually broke the. He has the most consecutive touchdowns, right, in NFL history, 16. So he did break the record. Today, running wise, he didn't do that great though on the ground. 15 carries, that is, 45 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. Longest run was 9 yards. Purdy ran the ball okay. He wasn't too bad. 5 rushes for 19 yards. The longest run was a 17-yard run. And we actually ran Kittle on a play on the jet sweep type play, 1 carry for 2 yards. As far as receiving goes for the 49ers, George Kittle, he had himself a pretty good game overall. Didn't get a touchdown, but whenever he was targeted, for the most part, he made the best out of his opportunities. He had 5 catches for 78 yards. Longest was a 28-yarder. Brandon Ayuk, in the beginning, in the first half, I think he did a whole lot more. In the second half, I didn't see as much. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. But it was 5 catches for 57 yards. 25 yards was his longest reception out of 6 targets. Juwan Jennings wasn't too bad. 5 receptions for 54 yards. Longest one was 18. CMC is always a good receiver out of the backfield. 3 receptions for 51 yards. Ray McLeod had 2 catches for 20. And Dwelly had 1 for 12. I mean, in Debo's absence, you can say that the other receivers and Kittle in general, and Kittle helped out the receiving core. They picked up the slack. Unfortunately, the most unfortunate thing was the defense couldn't get off the field. I mean, that was the biggest thing that killed us. And sure, I get it. Purdy threw 2 interceptions, and wish we could have had those back. Especially the one on the last drive. Looks like we were trying to challenge to get close to get a touchdown. We get a touchdown, we win the game, but. It is overall. I liked what Purdy did. I was just more disappointed in the defense not getting off the field. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. The third downs were horrible. I think they got 1 punt the first, like the beginning of the game, and then after that, there were, I think the Vikings punted another time in the fourth quarter. So they were, or third quarter, something of that sort. But they weren't getting stops on third down. And the reason was is you're not stopping the pass. There was no sacks. First off, the defense got no sacks. So you're sending in 5, 6, 7 guys, whatever, on blitzes. You stop the pass, especially in the middle. Kurt was eating the middle up. He was just right to the middle mostly every time. Penalties are penalties. Those happen. Usually, when you're a good team, you're going to have a number of penalties. So I'm not going to blame the refs. I know sometimes they call us whiner fans. I'm not one of those. Excuse me. But the referees, you have to get such a lead on teams that the referees don't play a role in what happens in the game. And I think that, the defense they didn't really come to play, and they had everyone there. They had Greenlaw, they had, all the guys were playing. They just couldn't get any stops. They couldn't get any sacks. Even the one play, I thought on third down, I thought Kurt was sacked. They ended up calling a penalty on Ward. He was sacked, and he threw a ball that was uncatchable. That was, in my opinion, a stupid penalty that the refs called because he bumped him. But it was natural. It wasn't like he bumped him on purpose, like he just bumped him because he was, trying to catch up with them. And they called a penalty. But the defense, under Steve Wilkes, it's just a different defense. Under Robert Sala and uh, the guy in tech for the Texans, I can't think of his name.
D'Amico Ryans.
D'Amico Ryan. Yeah, thank you. Under D'Amico Ryan and Sala, the defense was way better. They made adjustments when they needed to. They played inside and outside well. I know they weren't as good on the pass. Normally the Niners under D'Amico and Robert Sala, they were greater on the front. 7 linebackers, but the back end guys weren't as good. But now you have Welch trying to make sure that there's no long plays on the back end, but just, dude, your defense got ate up. Like, you're trying to stop the long passes, and that's all that happened today. So the Vikings have not scored a rushing touchdown this season. Why are you blitzing the quarterback? You could easily, no joke, I could have defensively coached this game. I'm not even just saying that. You just rush 3 or 4 guys, and you let everyone else play back. You get probably 10 interceptions in the game. Kirk Cousins is known for kind of playing, when Brett Favre would go off and then he would go off in another direction and throw like 4 picks. Kirk Cousins does the same thing. And I'm not comparing him to Brett Favre, but if you play off the ball and you make everybody, either if it's a zone or a man, you can get tons of picks off this guy. It didn't make any sense. And, again, I think that Wilkes, he has to find a way to get stops, man. This is not acceptable.
I was getting that. I mean, a lot of us Niner fans were probably getting bad vibes early on in the game, What was it? When Moody Ward had that really nice pick, he had that really nice interception.
Yeah.
It was a tough one where he stole it completely out of Addison's hand, I believe. It was Addison that they tried to throw it to. And it was beautiful. And here we are. We're in position to score. It kind of reminded me of the Browns game a little bit. Like offense is looking hella good right off the bat. And then boom, CMC fumbles. And then you just smell like the bad vibes. Just smell the bad vibes like yesterday's garbage. Like, it was not fun. And seriously, like, I know we just picked up Randy Gregory. We got Javon Hargrave up in the middle to bolster the pass rush. We gave Bosa that big fat contract, but we were not getting the Cousins. And it's almost as if Cousins was super inspired to play well, because everybody's rumored for years that Kyle Shanahan has his man crush on Cousins. We all know that, right? And so it was almost like, hey, look what you could have, blah, blah, blah. I could be your quarterback. And let's talk about what Cousins did really quick. He took advantage of every opportunity that, where we messed up, basically, is what he did. He was balling out of control. Real talk, man. This is the best I've ever seen him play. And unfortunately, it was at our expense. It sucks. He went 35 for 45, 378 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Sorry, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Yes. We couldn't sack the guy for anything. We couldn't get to him. Minnesota on the ground. Alexander Madison, 8 rushes for 39 yards. Like you mentioned, Minnesota hasn't had a rushing touchdown all year, but it didn't matter. We still lost them. Cam Akers had the ball for 10, ran the ball for 10 times, 31 yards. Yeah, I'm going to go over the receiving stats as well. Right after that, I'll do some shout outs to Minnesota. There's going to be plenty of receiving stats for Minnesota. Jordan Addison, the rookie. I believe he went to one of the Michigan's colleges. He was only like 5'11".
I think he went to USC, right?
Did he go? I think he transferred. He was one of those guys who transferred back and forth between schools. I know he's only 5'11", and I know a lot of people were saying, like, scouting reporters, that this guy plays like he's 6'3". Whatever he did, man, he was playing really, really well. And so originally he was at Pittsburgh, then he went to USC. That's what it was. He was drafted in the first round, but he had himself a great game. Seriously, 7 receptions, 123 yards, 2 touchdowns. Longest was a 60-yard. TJ Hawkinson, who I always thought saw as a George Kittle wannabe, because he came out of Iowa, which is now tight end U. And, him and Kittle are really good friends. He was balling too, man. 11 catches, 86 yards. Longest reception was 22. Brandon Powell, 4 receptions for 64 yards. I could go down the list. KJ Osborne, 5 receptions for 47 yards. We could not get the Cousins. Anytime it was a third down where I was pumped up, like, come on, let's stop him. Let's get a stop. Boom. And if we thought we did stop him, if it was an incomplete pass, what do you know? Mooney Ward is holding. Mooney Ward's committing PI. Isaiah Oliver's holding. So we just looked like a bunch of fools in that secondary. Seriously, anytime Cousins had the confidence to throw it deep, and if there wasn't if there was not a completion, there was definitely a penalty of some sort.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, what can you say, man? It's and also the Niners have a hard time winning in Minnesota. I think since the '90s, '92, I think they've only won like 2 or 3 games there. So it was like this. It was similar to the last game where the Niners were going into Cleveland, and I think against the coach in Cleveland, Kyle was 1-9 or whatever. It was a similar situation, and on Richard Sherman's podcast, he had a guy on there who had Minnesota winning this game, and the guy was the Detroit Lions fan, which is kind of funny to me. But I like everyone else is like, nah, the Niners are going to come out, they're going to ball out, Purdy's going to ball out. I thought Kittle would be better today. He played good. He didn't play bad, but I thought he would have a few touchdowns, maybe even. But it just seems like in regards to Kirk Cousins, he just took advantage of every opportunity that was presented to him. He got the ball out fast. He got the ball to his open guys. Our defense a lot of times looked confused, chaotic. There was one play where the tight end ran into Oliver, basically almost like a screen. It wasn't Hawkinson. Yeah,
they were running a lot of screens on us, and I don't know why we weren't prepared for it.
Yeah,
similar to last week.
Well, another thing, losing Aziz Shair, that was like a big loss for the Niners because usually when you had those, when you had Greenlaw and Fred and Shair, they could stop the screenplays, they could stop the run. Who's was it Burke that's playing opposite?
Oren Burks. He had a nice little interception against the Cowboys, but I'm just not big on the guy. I really not. I was hoping a guy like D. Winters or the other young linebacker that we drafted, who I thought was really nice, whose name totally escapes my mind, but he's a good player. I like him. I was hoping one of those younger guys would step in, but they didn't. Let's do this really quick because we saw a couple other people just jump in here, and I want to shout them out and show them some love really quick. We got who's up here? We got Bebop. Bebop Jones says, "Hey now, it's good to see you, bro. It's always good to see Bebop in the chat. Saying what's up, Bashman. There you go, bro. Good to see you." We got who we got? We got John V, who's been on plenty of post-game shows. I don't blame you. He says, "I'm so fucking pissed." I do not blame you. I know you're passionate about your Niners, and when you come on to the post-game shows with me, you're super passionate. And when you're on your channel, Locker Room Rant, you get in plenty of debates, and the fire is always there. And it's always nice when you have me on as a guest too. I totally appreciate what you guys are doing over there too in the Locker Room Rant YouTube channel. You, Nick, and Tony, you guys are doing it big over there. So shout out to you guys. We got who else is here? We got Ted for Ted Talks Ball. I do my Ted Balling with Bash and Ted every Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. Check us out, and he's right there. He says Purdy dog. He's kind of being funny because one guy in the chat always says that, and it's a little inside joke. we got Javier Rios. What's up, Javier? Says Bosa needs to grow up and play. He needs to do something. I mean, what was it? What were they doing today? They were showing him like he was advertising some new underwear type of deal that he has going with Kim K, some label that Kim K is putting out, Kim Kardashian, and they got him in his tank top and undies, and it was Kim all Kardashian, over Twitter.
They always ruin men, so you gotta be careful.
Yeah. Stay away from the Kardashians, Bosa. Whatever. I know you got your business venture going, but yeah. Don't get involved with the Kardashians. Trust me on that. Stick to whoever you're dating now and just play some ball. Sack the quarterback. We gave you that contract. We need you to sack the QB. Get another Sackaroonie. Was your birthday today? I was hoping to see some better production. Now, keep in mind the Vikings do got themselves some solid, really good tackles in Brian O'Neill and Christian Darrisaw, the young guy. I do like Darrisaw a lot, but I just want to see Bosa ball. I mean, defensive player of the year last year. Let's see more. We got Warowski. He's been on here a few times. He was on one of my post-game shows for the Dallas Cowboys. Says our defense is not effective unless we can pressure a quarterback. That is the biggest change from last year thus far. We bring in who do we bring in? We lost some players. We lost Charles Omenihu. We lost Jordan Willis. We lost Samson Ebukam. Those were some of the key pass rushers that we had last year to help out Bosa, and we changed them with Clelin Ferrell, who I liked a lot in college out of Clemson, and then his the guy who played opposite of him, Austin Bryant. who I thought was pretty damn good, and he was on the Detroit Lions. But both of these guys didn't really fare too well in the NFL. And there's that whole thing. Well, Chris Kocurek, who I love as a D-line coach, but everybody thinks he can make magic out of certain players, and it hasn't been working so far. And Drake Jackson, the 3 sacks in game 1. Where's he been? Then we picked up Randy Gregory. He got a sack last week, but I don't know. Where do you think this pass rush is going? I thought he had one today. Was that the one where it looked like they sacked Cousins, and then Cousins got away and threw it and completed it? That play drove me nuts.
Really, Cousins threw a intentional grounding, but they didn't call it.
On that other time he did, yeah. It was on an intentional grounding on a screen pass, and it was almost like he got away with it.
Yeah, and they should have called that. It was on one of the plays. I think Cousins threw it away, but I think he's been playing good. His first 2 games, he's done okay. I mean, he got a sack the last game, almost got one this game. It just seems like we have a long season, obviously, to look forward to or not look forward to. But maybe they'll start making adjustments. Maybe they'll start making adjustments after the bye week. But it just seems like with the talent that the Niners have, you have to be able to get stops. And if Wilts is like a Belichick type, Belichick is more of a corner safety, back end type coach. He's going to make sure that the front 4 rush the quarterback. His linebackers do their job. Mainly the linebackers are going to be used for the passing game, though, along with the DBs. And it seems like it's just not working. So really with the front guys, they have to get home, man. It's just I don't know why they're not. It seems like there are times when they're right there. They can just grab the guy and bring him down, but it's just not working. Quarterbacks are getting the ball out faster and those things, but there has to be more pressure on the quarterback from the passing perspective. You have a guy who is just going to pass the ball the whole game. He's not going to run the ball. He's just going to pass it the whole game. There's no reason why. Yeah, right. You're right. He's nowhere to be found. You have a guy that's passing the ball. Put pressure on the pass. You don't really need to put pressure on the run. And then if they decide to run, then you put pressure on the run. But even if they tried to scheme and make it look like a run and it's a play action, you already kind of know that. I don't know where Steve Wilks' mind is, and I'm trying to figure that out. I feel like he's running a lot of man-to-man, which is good. Man-to-man, to me, is one of the best offensive schemes. That's what Belichick does. That's what the coach for the defensive coordinator for the Browns did last week as well. Man-to-man is a good scheme to run. But if you're not putting pressure on the ball, what's the point? And right now, I have a coworker who's a Ravens fan. He's like, "Oh man, we're gonna get you guys." I personally think whoever goes to the Super Bowl is coming out of the AFC North on the AFC side. I think the AFC North is the best division in the AFC. The Niners obviously beat the Steelers. They lost to the Browns by a hair. We play the Ravens as well. If the Niners don't make adjustments right now, imagine the Ravens game. They're going to be running the ball with Lamar Jackson, and Lamar Jackson's a really good quarterback too. So you have those two things, and the Niners in the past haven't been great towards containing running quarterbacks. So when you go against a team that's going to run the ball down your throat and pass the ball, you have to be a little bit concerned. Like, okay, when are we going to make the proper adjustments? So for me, I mentioned one more thing. The defense has to get home. And I think they have to focus. If Wilkes' goal is to stop the long pass, play the pass, man. Have your guys up front, play the pass. Because if the quarterback gets stuck for more than 5 seconds trying to pass the ball, 3 seconds trying to pass the ball, your guys will get home and get sacks. But if the quarterback is back there like Kirk Cousins, just kind of chilling. Oh, there he is right there. Bow. Let me throw it to him. Oh, let me throw it to this guy. Oh, yeah, cool. This is great. I'm going to do this all night. It's going to be a long season.
Yeah, it very much will. Let me say what's up to Andy Land. I think I miss you, bro. Grew up with this guy back in my high school days. His O-line needs some help. Usually I'm going to say that, I wish we could improve the O-line a bit, but I didn't think it was. I don't think the O-line was necessarily the problem today. Like I mentioned earlier, Trent Williams was out. And I thought Jalen Moore in general wasn't perfect, but I thought he did a pretty good job overall in his absence. And a lot of people were worried that thought he played terrible. What up, Dave McNiner? Check him out on his YouTube channel, David McNiner. Good dude. So what's up, Bashar and Steve? Somi Maris, I know he's not happy. He gets mad very easy about these Niner losses since his defense was ass. No pass rush. Somi was advocating for Randy Gregory a whole lot. A lot of people were, and he looked good in week 1. I really thought he'd be a whole lot of help for Bosa in the pass rush. It's something's not working. I don't know what it is, and the blitzes aren't working. Not that Steve Wilkes blitzes a whole lot, but it's almost as if like these teams can telegraph. There was one play where we blitzed. And they ran a screen, and there was straight up nobody there. I thought it was going to be daylight for the running back or whoever caught it. I can't remember when. A lot of the plays. If I'm not detailed about the plays, I didn't do a game review right after the game. I literally turned my camera on, turned my computer on, and hopped on here. So it's not going to be like a full on review of all the top plays of the game or anything like that. But just in general, Cousins just had his way with us. I mean, every time I thought there was going to be a stop, I was hoping for Hufanga or somebody or Ward or Greenlaw, Warner, somebody step up and make a play. And it just did not happen. Aaron for 49ers First Takes his podcast this year. I was on his channel for the pregame show, the preview show on Sunday. It was a lot of fun, actually. He says, I'm so pissed. Yes, a lot of us are very pissed. I'm pretty calm, cool, and collective right now, but I was pretty nervous and agitated all throughout the game. It was not fun. We're spoiled. We're so used to this defense balling is what we are. We're so not that we get a sack on every play, but if we don't get the sack, we make the big play. We make the stop. If they catch a pass on 3rd down, on 3rd and 7 or whatever, they only get 4 yards and that's it. It wasn't the case today, man. Cousins was looking like a freaking all-pro out there. Like I mentioned, I swear, man, like I mentioned earlier,
right.
I seriously think that Cousins was inspired because people always try to link Cousins to Shanahan, and he was like, "Hey, look, I'm gonna ball out, I'll play my ass off tonight. I'm gonna play my best game of the season." And Cousins and the Vikings in general hadn't really been doing much. They've been playing a lot of close games, but they didn't been on the losing end of a lot of those close games. Is what it was. But you mentioned that though. Seriously, we don't really win in Minnesota for whatever weird reason. We don't. Yeah, but really quick, we got a lot of scares in this game too, man. Almost, it's like a player will go down, and then I'll be like, okay, he's definitely out for this game. Who we need, like when Warner went down, and I was like, okay, that's it. Warner's gone for this game, and then they go to commercial break. Like, oh well, good news. Warner's up on the sidelines, and and then he jumped right back in. So he's got a heart of a champion. So I love and appreciate that. And then there was another scare before that, when Greenlaw went down, and Greenlaw looked a little iffy when he got up from the tackle, and he was kind of limping for a quick second. But then he looked like he was going to fight it off. Then out of nowhere, he just hits the ground, and his hands start shaking. And I'm like, what in the world is going on here?
It looked like he hyperextended his elbow on that play. He landed with his arm, and his elbow hyperextended.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to get Fred Warner to pull his arm to snap it back, but I think it was fine. It was probably just how he landed, and he figured it out. He's a big, strong professional football player. He'll figure it out.
Yeah. We're fortunate to have those two guys. I'm just hoping somebody else in the linebacking core can step up. Like I mentioned, Jalen Graham, Jalen Graham was a rookie I mentioned earlier, who I liked a lot in the preseason. D. Winters was a guy who I really, really liked.
Is D. Winters hurt?
I think both these guys on the practice squad is what it is. So,
okay.
You know what I was thinking, real talk, because they were talking about how the Tennessee Titans made this big move to get that safety. The Eagles got the safety. Is it Biard or how do you say his name?
Good too.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I don't know if he just made the All-Pro team last year or he's been an All-Pro in years past, but the Eagles jumped, they messed around, they got themselves a player. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking to myself, you know what? Like, I was thinking about all these players that I like that we draft, but all they do is just sit on their ass on the practice squad, or we just don't activate them on game day. I'm like, why are we fucking around drafting these guys who we never ever see step on the field? If that's the case, draft some, trade all those picks, trade 4 or 5 of those picks. I don't care. Trade 4 or 5 of those picks and get at least two proven commodity type players that can put us over the hump and get us that Super Bowl ring. Because we ain't playing those dudes that we're drafting. So let's get some good veterans, some good players in.
They need another lineman. They need another guy opposite of Fred and Greenlaw. That's really the change maker. I think at this, a linebacker. Yeah. Did I say linebacker?
You said lineman.
I'm sorry. I meant linebacker. Sorry.
That's all good.
I'm so mad, bro. I feel like I can't
know.
even
a lot
think.
of us are mad. That was the first time I showed my anger. I was holding it in, actually.
Yeah.
let me go get to some of these comments really quick, though. I want to show some love in the chat. I know some people maybe have not been expecting me to go on. I know it's late. But I do appreciate the people who are here. A lot of people are going to catch the replay later, so it's all good. Warowski said the O-line was not firing off the ball like they did versus Dallas. Trent Williams sets the tone. O-line looked like it's soft today with the run game. Yeah, with the run game, they were not impressive. Pass blocking wise, I thought they were okay, though. The main problem was the time of possession. I didn't look at the time of possession stats, but I guarantee you the time of possession stats are going to tell me that Vikings easily had the upper hand, because watching the game, you knew it. So let me just see if I can find that really quick. Time of possession. If I could pull up that up on the team stats, I'll let you guys know in just a second. Let me just follow up with these other chats really quick. Red Jet Shell said being a Niner fan is a whole second job. We all know that. LOL. Yeah, you're right. It does feel like a job. This is what the second job means. But on some serious time, we have to be pissed. Cincinnati is coming off their bye week. Cincinnati is not going to be easy. What do you think about that upcoming matchup?
Against Cincinnati?
That's our next game. That's our next game.
Yeah. So I feel good against Cincinnati. I know we got to travel for that game. But I'll say this: 2 things that really played a role in the Niners losing the last 2 games were the run game. I don't know how much. I'm sure Bashir, you have it pulled up. How many rushing yards do we have in this game? It wasn't even 100 yards, right?
I'll put it up for you in a minute. You keep calling me Bashir, man.
Sorry, Bashar.
Oh yeah, thanks. A lot of people make that mistake. It's all good though. Our rushing yards were only 65, which wasn't that impressive. Yeah.
And normally Kyle Shanahan in his most dominant games, you look back to even those first 5 games, the rushing offense is always over 100 yards or more. Mm-hmm. The run game has to be established. I was wondering why. It seems like they tried a few times in this game. There was no zone run, and that's Kyle's bread and butter. I mean, obviously, there's a reason why they didn't run it as much, because Trent's not there. But it normally, even just the scheme itself works with who your personnel players are. You just run it over and over again until you get 5 yards and 6 yards and 3 yards. It seems like Kyle abandons his complete game plan when things aren't going proper. And when we look back to when we were kids and Bill Walsh was the coach, Bill Walsh had grit. Bill Walsh and so did George Seifert. These guys had balls. You remember when the Bears had the best defense in the NFL, the Niners go into Chicago and beat them. And it was cold too. It was freezing temperatures. Bill Walsh had a game plan, and when the game plan broke down, he made adjustments. I feel like Kyle Shanahan is like that guy that that friend that's always starting a new business, right? And when one business is going well, he goes to another business, and then the business that was going well falls apart, so he's doing something else. You have to make in-game adjustments. I know last year, as the season went on, Kyle did that. I'm not hating on the man. I'm not saying that. But when you look at when he was in Atlanta, they're winning that Super Bowl. He starts in a way like panicking. I'm not saying he's throwing his hands up, but things start not going well, and all of a sudden he stops his complete scheme and he starts trying to throw in little trick plays and different things. You don't do that. If the goal of the 49ers under Kyle Shanahan is to run the ball, live off the play action, you stick with that no matter what. You make your in-game adjustments, but you always have something to go to that's going to mirror that. If you're going like in the Super Bowl, when the Kansas City Chiefs defense was garbage, you had Raheem Mostert, who was averaging 6 yards a carry or something like that. You just keep feeding this man the ball. He was killing the whole playoff series. He would have done just the same in the Super Bowl. And again, what was the key ingredient in the Super Bowl? The Niners did not have over 100 rushing yards. Anytime the Niners don't have over 100 rushing yards, they're not very good, and they don't usually win games. Last year, when we went on that run, we had 100 plus rushing yards or close to that every single game to complement the pass game. So Kyle Shanahan is like his dad. He's more of a running coach. Who could forget how Mike Shanahan ran Terrell Davis in those Super Bowls? He ran him like no other. I think Terrell Davis ended up getting hurt after that in one of the season games, or regular season games. But that's the establishment of the game. I think that is still a winning formula in the NFL. Everything now is passing. Everyone is trying to be Patrick Mahomes. Everyone's trying to be Lamar Jackson. It's changed as a game, but still, it's similar to basketball. If you build a basketball team, you have everyone a center, power forward, small forward, shooting guard, point guard, and you have them play against a team that tries to mirror the Warriors. Now, I'm not saying the Warriors, but tries to mirror the Warriors. That team of five that's very athletic, knows their assignments, they're going to beat those guys who are trying to emulate the Warriors. So with Kyle, if running is how you establish your wins, if you have to get 100 yards a game to win, stick with it. Don't deviate, don't change, don't start going, okay, I'm going to try to throw in something different. No one's seen this play before, because then it just ends up getting blown up. And then there's personnel missing. So you don't have Debo out there, you don't have Trent out there. You can't run. Obviously, last week we saw he tried to run it with Ray McLeod. The play got all jammed up, and it was actually a good play. If it had worked, it would have been probably a touchdown or close to it. But I think you have to exclude things like that. Again, when it comes down to winning the game, stick to what you're good at. You run the ball well. Also, don't just use Christian McCaffrey. Elijah Mitchell's really good. Sherman's really good. Use your running backs, try to establish the run game, and then use the play action. That would make Brock Purdy's job a little bit easier in the last two games as well.
Yeah, that's true. We're gonna bring on another guest really, really quick, special secret guest. But let me just shout a couple of people out before we do that. Really, really quick. We got good friend of mine. He's also a hip hop performer, hip hop artist. Does a lot of 49er hype songs. Just saw him last week when we did the 49er watch party over in Sacramento. Barrett's, shout out to Barrett's, really good dude. Follow him on Instagram and Twitter. Says, I'm pretty under consistent pressure, definitely showing some weaknesses in his early career. Defense got burned all game long. I'll add to that though, because the freaking defense couldn't get off the field. I mean, the Vikings dominated the time possession, 34 minutes and 56 seconds to 25 minutes. And it, like you mentioned, the run game, it just kind of sucked, because when I felt like whenever we were about to get back on the field, we were forced to pass. We couldn't, it was just like we were just under duress the whole time because the defense wasn't being the Niner defense. Really, really quick. Brian Cope is here, says, smash the like button, everyone. Appreciate you, bro. Check out your channel. Ritz is here, says, what's up, Bashar? I love Ritz. He's so cool, man. Let me bring on our secret guest, our special guest, another special guest. Twin Empire. What's up, Twin? How you doing, bro? Big time Niner fan.
Hey, man.
Let me change up the overlay a little bit so we can looks a little nicer. There you go. I'm not blocking your face now.
You covered up my beard, my guy.
I know. I had it covered up with the Super Bowl trophy, so we need another one though.
Yeah.
How you feeling? How you feeling?
How y'all doing today, man?
Well,
it's the company's good, but the game sucked. What can I do, man? What
yeah,
can I say?
yeah, exactly. The game, the game was my vacation for the night. Like, I'm
for sure, man. I'm in petty mode, so I'm trying to make sure I ain't gonna be. I'm not.
You petty Pendergrass
right now, huh?
You petty Pendergrass.
Hey, I'm on petty Pendergrass. Ooh, I like that one right now. I'm definitely in my petty Pendergrass bag right now, boy. I'm telling you.
Let's hear. Let's rant. Go.
All right, man. This is my little 2 cents, my rant. I'm gonna tell y'all just like this. Now, sit here. Last time I checked, I was told Block 30. They call him Brock 30 or Glock 30, and the only thing he do is score 30 points per game, right? Last time I checked, this defense gave up 15 points per game. Our offense was scoring over 32 points per game. Last game, we scored 17. This game, we scored 17. Last week, our defense gave up 19. This week, they gave up 22. If we're going by league average as far as what it is that we have done, is scoring 32 points per game. One game we didn't score. We scored 15 points less than our normal. And then this game, we scored a little bit around, like, let's say 7, 8, like 9 points than our normal as far as offensively. Why is it that when our offense isn't producing the way that it once was, which had us all excited about what it was that this team could do as far as getting over the hump, having the firepower to do something that we thought we couldn't do with Jimmy Garoppolo, even though our defense hasn't been the best, it's not like we've been giving up a whole bunch of touchdowns. We've had opportunities to score in the red zone, which we didn't. Our defense has given us turnovers in the red zone, and the offense didn't capitalize off of it. So it just amazes me that on one end, it's Wilkes as far as what he hasn't done properly as a new DC, but we don't pinpoint the same energy with Kyle Shanahan when it comes to either his guys not being in position properly, the play calling that he's not doing, properly as far as getting some guys involved in the game to make sure that they are taking advantage of the defenders that are guarding them. To me, it's like, what's up with that? Why all of a sudden there's a switcheroo on the pressure when it comes to the D coordinator getting held to this high regard when many people have said, is this the year that the offense is supposed to do what? Hold down the fort because the defense may take a step back. So if we kind of already had some of these things played, inside of there, what's up with the switcheroo now? Why all of a sudden now it's just, Steve Wilkes. Last time I checked, 22 points ain't even league average. League average 23 and some change. Last time I checked, we lost last week by 19. Last time I checked, 22, 24 points is league average. We blowing the brakes off people, right? So why? What? I just want to know what's the difference. Y'all tell me, help me out to understand, because I'm just trying to think logically on this point.
I know. I'll tell you this much: this week and last week, though, I feel like these are the two games that we've been out coached. The coaching was really nice in those wins, but something has been off. And Shanahan's usually in his bag, and he usually has shit going right. And Wilkes, in my opinion, was doing a lot better in the previous games. And we just been really undisciplined on defense. I mean, every time we think we get a stop, nope, we're not going to get. Either we thought we got a stop and we committed a penalty, or we didn't get a stop and we committed a penalty, or we let a deep pass down the field. It's just been a lot of that going on. And a good reason is we're not getting to the quarterback properly. So, but I mean, I still like Brock. I still like him. He was in position to win. Now the 2 interceptions weren't so great. I get it, especially the one at the end. The first one that he threw was more of a timing throw, I think, where he was trying to hit Jennings on a timing type route. It looked like Jennings may have gotten bumped or held where they might have been able to call a holding or a PI, but it wasn't called for whatever reason, But I mean, I didn't sit there and dissect the play, but the second time around, yeah, sure, Purdy definitely got picked up. It's square. It's just what it is. What it was, I was excited at one point in the game when Ayuk was getting the ball and making some plays and Kittle, but it just sucked to see that defense never get off the field in proper time. And then every time I thought they'd make a play, they didn't. And I don't know that at least that's my take on it, man.
I got a question for both of y'all. So halftime, we all see what happened, right? The big play everybody talking about. We thought it was an interception, but once it wasn't an interception, how dare you, Wilkes, right? He caught the heat. I get it. You know what I'm saying? We get the ball coming out of halftime, right? Second play, we're looking at the top. The clock, tick, 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 tick. Got to call timeout. Next play, incomplete. We punt the ball. I'm looking like, wait a minute, man. We've been in this locker room for 10, 15 minutes. We come out of here and don't have plays ready to go out there and be executed, and then we end up punting the ball, giving the ball right back to the Vikings. I had an issue with that, you know what I mean? Because then we go back and we score, I believe, and then we end up kicking another field goal. But my thing is, they had 5 possessions, and they scored on all 5. All right. Our defense ain't kicking. You know what I'm saying? They're not in their bag. Offense, pick up the freaking, pick it up. We ain't asking you to score 35 points. We asked you to score 40. We're not even asking you to score 24 points. Just go do something. Look, go just pinch him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was nice when Purdy connected to CMC on that nice little was a screen pass on a wheel route. Not sure what type of exact pass it was. So when I saw that, I got a little excited. We all got excited. It was nice. But we were expecting to see more of that, and we didn't. And you just reminded me when you said near interception. I was like, when near interception, what's he talking about? Yet it was that fluky ass touchdown, that gigantic, huge play where we thought we were going to stop the Vikings before the half and call it a day. And those assholes literally scored a gigantic touchdown on us right before the half. It looked like we picked it off with Ward, and he let Addison just scoop it up out of his hands. It was a payback, was what it was, and he just made the best out of it, and we had to suffer from it. Let me say what's up to 49er Dude. 49er Dude is a good buddy of mine. He's a 49er hip hop performer. He did the theme song for my channel. Really appreciate it. Says, damn, bro, what happened? I was at work. I looked at the score, and I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, a lot of us are saying that right now. I'm trying not to cuss, but it's one of those days and one of those games where you end up cussing. And Chris Davis is here. Watch it on Twin's channel right now. Since Twin's joined, we're doing a simulcast. Says, what's up, Twin? And let's see what a couple other people are saying really, really quick. Barit said, at Twin Empire, maybe some scripted plays to start the second half as we start games will be beneficial. The defense did tighten up in the second half, though, especially with the tackling. What do you think?
The Niners are known for being physical. So again, when you establish the run, as you mentioned, and you wanted me to answer the question too, Twin Empire. If they would have come out and established the run in the second half, it would have made a world of a difference in the game. Again, as I mentioned, Kyle gets away from that, and it seems like he starts trying to throw different things in there, different looks. And it throws Purdy off. Like there's points where Purdy never looks worried as a player. He always looks like he's ready for anything that comes his way. He started looking a little bit worried. Mm-hmm. And it's because it's like Jimmy in the Super Bowl. You couldn't win a Super Bowl by just relying on Jimmy. You have to have that run game established. And then Jimmy feeds off of that. That's the type of offense that Kyle Shanahan has created, and it's a incredible genius offense. You could bully like they did the first 5 games. They bullied everybody. You should have bullied the Browns, and you should have bullied the Vikings. From here on out, I hope they bring back that bully ball style of play and never look back, because that's what teams can't handle. No team can handle when you can run 150 yards a game plus throw 200 plus yards a game. You have 2 touchdowns running, 2 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns passing. Teams are afraid of that. They don't even know how to handle it. But Kyle, it's like one thing goes wrong, and it's like he has to start over from scratch and try something new. Mm-hmm. And I love Kyle Shanahan. I'm happy he's our coach. But I wish that if there was one adjustment he would make, I wish he would just go, okay, what works? This has worked before. What's the winning formula that got me here? I've been in 3 NFC championships. 1, I went to the Super Bowl. I didn't take that one home. But what got me there? Okay, let me stick to that script. And then with Wilks, I would have to say he should have played the pass. That was my only thing I said. I don't know if you heard me before I got on. Play the pass. They have no run game in Minnesota. Stop the pass. That's all you got to do. Kirk Cousins, again, he gets overzealous all the time, throws picks. You stop the pass, we'd be having a different conversation right now. You know what I mean?
For sure. I'll say this too, like even with our running game. Now this is I think the 3rd week in a row, maybe 4th. Christian McCaffrey is averaging under like 3.5 yards per carry.
Yeah.
You gotta be realistic with it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's an issue. You know what I mean? Any valuable number 1 running back in the National Football League, minimum 4 yards per carry. Minimum.
Yep.
If you're getting 4 yards per carry, they looking at you like, ugh, that was the lowest of a starting running back last year. And that was Najee Harris last year. He was the league low starting running back that was averaging 4.0 yards per carry. He was the low last year. And so for us to be having a mentality or the identity of being a run first team or a physical team, to me, as Kyle has to get out his own head, similar to what you were saying, my guy, is like, dude, you got to be more diversified even in your running game. I know people say, well, he doesn't allow these other guys to get in and run the ball or spell CMC because they don't know the playbook properly, far as getting out and running the same running routes. I mean, the pass catching routes that he runs. Well, God damn it, listen here. Don't run them plays. Run the doggone plays that they ran efficiently and well in practice or during the offseason, bro. Like, you have to adjust. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
We know that Mason is a power back. We know that Elijah Mitchell is one of those backs that he has to get multiple carries to kind of get a feel. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm a hooper as well. Big up to basketball season. It's like a shooter coming in and shoot one shot, then go get on the bench because he missed. Like, no, bro, he ain't even got no lather or nothing. He ain't got a free throw in. And I'm like, Kyle, you have enough.
That was a perfect analogy, bro. That's a perfect analogy.
Yeah, it was.
That was a perfect analogy for Kyle.
I'm just saying, like, bro, you got enough guys out there, and then they turn to Jonathan Kuminga, which is this. They're timid now because they missed the first shot. You on the bench, and you don't get another opportunity.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we don't, and again, CMC, as good as he is, running the ball against a team like that where things just went clicking, they call it a what, guys? A change of what? Change of pace back. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And there's nothing wrong with that. So I just thought we got away from there. I didn't think we utilized Brandon Ayuk. He was catching the balls early in the first half. And again, it's the low-hanging fruit for me right now is the defense. But I'm under the mindset of, again, I thought we were shifting towards this offense being, as many people were saying, this is the best offense since 1994, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what that was the narrative I was hearing. Best offense since 1994. We finally got a quarterback that was on par to Steve Young.
And we finally had an offense that can match up with the defense, is what people were saying.
That's what people were saying.
I'm not sure if were you here when I was bringing up trading the picks? Were you here for that part?
No.
Okay, let me ask you this because we're talking about like how CMC's a little banged up and he was having an MVP type year, but people are keying up on him and they're smashing him around, and we don't want to see him lost for the playoffs or anything like that. And I just brought this up, like, you know, it's like there. I bet a lot of people were asking like, oh, why isn't this rookie playing? Why isn't that rookie playing? I'm like, well, so and so is on the practice squad, or so and so never gets activated, and it's the truth. It's like Kyle. If Kyle's drafting players, we're drafting players, and we're not playing them in games, why are we drafting them? Let's trade these picks for known commodities. You know, who was it? The Eagles got themselves Kevin Byard from the Titans, and my friend was like, "Oh, it looks like the Titans have a fire sale." I was like, "Okay, well, what about Derrick Henry? Hey, you know, wouldn't that be a nice little change of pace for the 49ers to try to get? That's a proven commodity right there." I mean, I don't know if you're for something like that. What do you think in terms of us making moves?
Here. This is the time frame when you look at your other opponent. Again, I like to study the other. Unfortunately, I got a brother who a Dallas Cowboy fan, which is horrible.
His brother's very known, but his brother has a huge following, by the way.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm watching these other teams, them and the Eagles. Like, I'm not just in our little echo chamber looking at the 49ers. I'm looking at these other guys because I got to see where are their strengths and where are their weaknesses. And these teams are bringing in guys who are not only physical, but then also very smart and intelligent, like a Byard. You know what I'm saying? So when we sitting over here and looking at these teams getting better, we got to look at our own backyard and say, okay, then if we do need to get a Henry, if you don't trust a Mason, you don't trust Elijah Mitchell, because to me, it's apparent that you don't, because there's no way you can have a guy like Elijah Mitchell run for almost 1,000 yards his rookie year and almost took us to the freaking Super Bowl to all of a sudden you don't even trust him to go out there and get 5 snaps.
Yeah, exactly.
So to me, I'm outside looking in. That just shows, okay, there's something that's not there. If my starting MVP candidate with an oblique strain has to get 45 snaps in a row, well, listen here, I might do have to go get somebody else. I might need to find someone else, because if you don't trust them, Kyle, you go run this guy CMC into the dirt, and we don't need that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's a successful option for us, plan, yeah. You know.
Yeah.
Let me say what's up to some people that got here a little late. We got Rod J, who's watching on Twin Empire's channel. He popped in there, but we're doing a little last minute live stream on both channels. And so if you're not on the Twin channel, you can hit him up on my description box of this video and give him a like and subscribe for his channel, and vice versa on the 49er Minded channel. Rod J's here though. Shout out to you, bro. We got Tej Beats is a new person who I've never seen before. Welcome to the channel. Says trade for O-line or cornerback. I don't know if other teams are willing to give up linemen, man. It almost seems like the linemen are the last people that get traded.
Yeah, they're hard to get.
I don't know. And I know Surtain is not going to happen because apparently there's been a report out that we inquired about Patrick Surtain to the Denver Broncos the same day we made the Randy Gregory trade, and they almost laughed at us for it. So I don't know who else you have in mind. What's that?
They weren't horrible. And also, Patrick Surtain got 8 for 70 yards. So if we keep the same energy we keep for our cornerbacks over here, that you can't catch a ball on one of them without being sorry and trash. Hey, Surtain got some he got some L's on his record too far as getting torched out there. So I'm just saying, before you trade for a guy like that, you got to realize that he does get beat sometimes.
And who was it? Eric Crocker was saying, former NFL quarterback, was saying that there are no more shutdown corners anymore, and that might be true. We got G-Rod is here. He says it's Wilkes partly to blame. A lot of people they're also throwing the blame around towards Wilkes.
I think you got to blame the whole coaching staff. You got to look at all sides.
We got Dan.
Because Kyle didn't make adjustments, so Kyle has to make adjustments on offense, just like Wilkes has to make adjustments on defense.
Shout out to my good friend Dan Castillo. Says, "What's up, gentlemen? Great to see you on the stream." Yeah, I mean, it's an all-around team loss. The coach, I definitely thought we got out coached. I mentioned that before. I'll mention it again.
Yeah.
And I was mentioning when I was reading the box score of Ayuk's production, 5 catches, I believe, for around 57 yards. It in my mind, it felt like most of it was in the first half. Seems like maybe I wasn't wrong because Barrett says Ayuk disappeared in the second half. I know they tried to incorporate Kittle more, but Jennings took a lot of the second half catches. He had himself a decent game. Number 11, I have to rewatch and see if they were taking Ayuk out of plays. Yeah, it would have been nicer if he stepped up in the second half. It would have been nice, but
did you know that Jennings had more targets than almost anybody? He had 9 targets. He had more targets than Kittle and BA.
That's crazy.
And Jennings stepped up though. He stepped up in Debo's absence. He looked good.
He did. I would have towards the end of the game. I would have rather him throw the ball to Ayuk. Him and Purdy and Ayuk have a great connection. Whenever they meet, as far as him catching the ball, it's just there's always magic that happens out of it. When he stopped throwing to Ayuk, it changed the rhythm of the game as well. So again, I wish I can get inside Kyle Shanahan's head sometimes and just kind of figure it out. Because again, like we talked about the Warriors a little bit. Like, what's the Warriors' winning formula? They got great 3-point shooters. They have pretty good defense as well. They won 4 championships from that. They've been in the finals like 6 or 7 times. That formula works for them, and it's going to continue to work until it doesn't work anymore. If you're establishing the run and the play action, just stick with it no matter what. Make the adjustments on defense too, because there's no reason why they only got 2 punts in that game. You have to get punts on third downs. You have to stop the passing game. They have no touchdowns.
Punted once. Minnesota only punted once.
They don't have any rushing touchdowns on the season. You don't have to worry about the run. Just worry about the pass. But in 1994, that Niners team started off a little shaky too, and then they figured it out and they made the adjustments to the rest of the year and they won the Super Bowl. Maybe this is one of those moments. I think
17 game seasons, longer than it was back then too. So
17 and not as physical.
For both of y'all, and I'm of the belief of this too. It's similar like when you go to the basketball and go to the rack in hoops and you get a foul. Like, you know what I mean? Minnesota went and took shots. Even when their wide receiver couldn't even get the ball. Just going down there created the referee to get in a position where he has to call a penalty. I don't think we do it. Like, we don't do that nearly enough, for my opinion. Send Brandon, are you gonna go? Let him go and say, hey man, I'm gonna toss it out there. I'm gonna let you go out there and make the referee make a decision. Whether it's Debo, Ray McLeod, or whoever. I think we have to use the modern football, because we seen last night against the Eagles that happened. We seen this in every game throughout the year, that when teams throw that ball up, they're going to gauge towards the offensive player and give them the doggone opportunity. Cal, it's okay to sometimes to let your position player be the one to go and get off, meaning that, hey man, I might scrap a play and I see the mismatch, and I may go back to back plays because I see my guys kind of getting lathered. And I'm from the South. I'm country. I'm even changing my tone of voice right now. I'm country. When we
It's coming
hoop, we
out.
say feed the baby. As long as I'm
Yeah.
crying, give me the bottle, give me the rock, let me cook until I find out I can't get stopped. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
BA was cooking. Nobody was stopping
Yeah.
him. Why am I not getting the pill? Give me the pill. Look, I'm playing A, playing B, and I'll drive you to the doggone clinic and be playing C if I got to be. But
Let's
dude, give
go.
me the ball. Let me eat on
Yeah.
BA. You know what I'm saying? Brandon, you can't hear. And so, I mean, not Brandon, Debo Samuel's not there. So I just be wondering sometimes, why don't we kind of incorporate that into the offense? Not saying that has to be our identity, but we need to have more versatility when things isn't always going our way.
I
You better
agree.
figure that out.
And yeah, we have to. And I think too, like even when Debo comes back, in my opinion, every running back should be running. You should have Debo. Obviously, I know he's a receiver, but we use him as a running back. CMC, Elijah, number 24. I forget his name sometimes. But each guy should be giving snaps. You should give, maybe give Elijah, like you said, 5 snaps. Sherman, I think is the other guy, right? Is that his last
JP
name?
Mason. I mean,
Jordan Mason.
Sorry,
Jordan
Mason.
Mason.
Mason. I forget his name sometimes.
Not Richard Sherman.
But no, I thought I'm thinking of Sherman, the other guy that's on. I think he's on another team now because he looks like him. But and he runs like him too. But but Mason, you give Mason like 2 snaps, 3 snaps a game, just run, and then imagine the play action that comes out of that, because people are going to be like, okay, we got to stop the run. We got to stop the run. Oh, then Brock Purdy's throwing downfield and it's a touchdown. And then we have the receiving core, like you said, Brandon Ayuk, the best receiver on our team. You get to do the ball like Debo too. He can take a 20-yard pass and go 90. You know what I mean? And that was nowhere to be found today. It seemed like it was there and then it just went away. And I feel like
he almost broke one. Did y'all see that? I thought he almost broke one time, right?
He
Who
did.
are you?
Yeah, BA. He caught a deep one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be nice if we try to go downfield a couple more times with him. And Jennings, for example, did make some nice plays. And there was a few where it was like, okay, if it was Debo or Ayuk that caught that, it's probably taking that for about 15 or 10 more extra yards. Because we all know that Jennings is a nice player, but he's not fast. He's not
slow.
Gonna shake it. He's not going to shake anybody. He can kind of make somebody miss, but he's not going to take it for extra yards. Let me Dan got a quick question. Hang on, let me see what's up to Sentinel really quick. Sentinel says we need secondary help really bad. That was pathetic. Good friend of mine was in the chat right here. Fired up 49ers. What up, Kenny? Says didn't get to watch the game tonight. Well, maybe that's a good thing. I was a tough watch. I was not an easy watch. We're here grieving about the loss, and we got the Bengals playing coming up. It's gonna be in Levi Stadium, by the way. It's not on the road. It's a home game.
Oh, I thought it was on the road.
Yeah,
okay.
Initially I thought that too. Dan Castillo does have a question for you, Twin. Really quick, if you're not subscribed to Twin's channel, hit up the description box of this video, and you can hit like and subscribe on his channel. He's actually streaming live the same time simultaneously as well. If you want to follow Steve on his Instagram, you can hit up Steve's Instagram on here too, and just hit a like and subscribe on my channel if you haven't done so already. But Dan has a question for you, Twin. Says, so what if we lose the same way to the Bengals? What are your thoughts, bro? Ooh.
Talking about just so my question to you, Dan, is it I have a different definition when people talk about cornerbacks in the secondary giving up like a lot of yards. When I think of a secondary giving a lot of yards, I'm thinking 30 plus points. I'm thinking like multiple touchdowns. Like it's hard for us to even be in a 2-score game. So if we lose again like this, I'm gonna be a little. I gotta see what Brock is looking like, because right now, if he has another game like this, it's not that I'm in panic mode, but I do believe we have to take a deep breath and say, okay, what is happening right now? Is it just the teams are really starting to get a handle on us, or he just in a little funk? You know what I mean? They'll be the only thing, because if it's a long season, we can afford lose a couple games. But if we lose like this again next week, I need to see, what is Nick Bosa? Are we going to make him accountable? Because I know we're making Wilkes accountable, but last time I checked, Bosa getting paid probably more than the whole defense right now.
You're right.
Are we gonna say, hey Nick, are you gonna actually go out there and touch the motherfucker? You know what I'm saying? Kirk Cousins
Him
was
and
looking like
Hargrave.
Jake Gyllenhaal on Bubble Boy. Like, bro was fresh. You know what I'm
Bubble
saying?
Boy.
You wouldn't touch him. He clean as I don't know what, man. Like,
And what about Armstead? Because real talk, I believe
Yeah.
Shaw Show said this earlier, and I've said it on he said it on another channel, but I've said this before. Like going into the season, I thought that with the addition of Hargrave, since we already got Bosa, that like Armstead is gonna earn his paycheck. You know, he gets paid a whole lot of money, and I thought Armstead was gonna step up and get to the quarterback a bit more, but we haven't even seen that.
and that makes it bad on our secondary because I play cornerback, man. And whenever that quarterback got enough time to go out there and really allow a wide receiver to get 3.5 seconds, it's hard to cover these guys, man. You already at a disadvantage, and we got somebody who is as accurate as Kirk Cousins is to be so comfortable where you know where he's going to be, and you can't get the pressure to move him off of his spot. I'm like, bro, that's an issue for us. We have to get him because if we do touch him once or two times, that's what my guy was saying earlier. Steve was like, he'll give you one. But if you ain't never give him the chance to kind of feel a little like scared, a little sporadic in the pocket, he did what he did to us, and which makes our secondary even more exposed. You know what I'm saying? And so, that's my opinion on if we lose next week. Yeah, man, we need to have a come to Jesus moment. You know what I'm saying? Look, kumbaya in the middle of
God
Levi.
forbid. And we got some people talking some shit in the chat. Let me see let me throw up what they're saying really quick before that. We got Sentinel Football Channel. Check out his YouTube channel because we need secondary help bad. We got some people sitting on your channel there, Twin. We got this guy, if I'm saying the name, Choctaw, Montana says, "Damn, why is it looking like y'all Super Bowl was Dallas? Damn, that's sounds like
Hey man, listen, I'm a Niner fan. As long as we beat the brakes off y'all every year, bro, listen here, I'll take that too.
Okay,
Yes,
Willie
sir.
T. We got a bunch of people talking. She says, "How about them Cowboys?" And says then we got Creative Reflection said, "Y'all peaked at week 5." It sounds like a lot of with all these y'all. Sounds like a lot of Cowboy fans up in here. Man, they're just waiting for us to lose.
Fans.
Oh yeah, he lives in Dallas. Steve lives in Dallas.
Oh man, my brother lives in Dallas too, man. So hey, go holler at Law Nation if you ever get an opportunity, man.
Okay.
Yeah, your brother's cool though. Your brother's a good,
he
good
cool
dude.
people, man. I'll be in Dallas in December, man. Just so you know, unfortunately, I'm going to the Dallas versus the Eagles game as a family situation, though, man. But if you gonna be in town that weekend, man, let your boy know.
I will for sure. Just make sure you follow me and we'll chat.
Yeah, he's on Instagram. I put his Instagram in the chat. You guys can all follow Steve and follow Twin in the description box of this video. Will lead you to their social media. Rev Rebel 95 says the Twin Maker. So he's showing you some love. Warowski says y'all still lost to the Niners again and again. You got that right.
Yep.
We got
in a row.
Man, these guys are coming out of the woodwork, man. Antoine 804 says, "Guess Cowboys was so physical, can't win y'all Super Bowl with a lot of y'all's here within 2 weeks, and sound like Philly and Washington beating us." Okay, there you go.
I think next week.
I like the back and forth.
Yeah, Cowboy fans talk a lot of trash. That's the one thing. I mean, they could say, "Oh, you guys haven't won a Super Bowl since 1994." Like, okay, but we've been to 2. You know, you guys haven't been to a Super Bowl since 1996. So you got or 1995, 96. You guys really can't say anything, Cowboy fans. I grew up in a household of my mom was a Cowboy fan. I was a Niner fan.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, my mom is a straight Cowboy fan. When I was in Cali, man. So. I was always a Niner fan, and the Cowboy fan. When the Cowboys were in their bag, I give them credit. In the '90s, you guys were it, but right now it's the Niners' turn. You know what I mean? And so I add to this. I'll add to that by saying this. I think the Niners will beat. I think they'll beat the Bengals next week. I think the Niners will beat the Bengals next week.
We're getting a lot of Purdy. This guy's saying Purdy. I don't know where he's going with that name. Looking like a number 1 drafted quarterback.
Tom Brady struggled. Tom Brady struggled at times too.
Saying Purdy's the next Tom Brady or whatever. I mean, the defense couldn't get off the field, man. I mean, I know Purdy got picked off the end.
Purdy didn't really play a bad game. He played okay.
All right.
He played okay. He stopped going to his guy. He has a better connection with Brendan Ayuk. Yes, he has a connection with Juwan too, but it's more with Ayuk, and Ayuk can do more with the ball when you give it to him. And then I was expecting at least, like I said, a touchdown out of Ayuk, a touchdown or 2 out of George Kittle. That didn't happen today. But I think that he has someone in his ear calling plays, and he has to listen to it. If he could probably ignore what they're telling him and just stick to what works, they probably would have won the game.
And this is what I tell you, Steve. I think some people are thinking of this is like y'all are settled on like Purdy being the guy, like our franchise quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at the stats and things of that nature, they're saying, okay, well, y'all telling us he's elite. Y'all want us to say that he's a top 10 quarterback, right? That's what they're telling. They're like, hey, him being a manager of the game is one thing, but when you telling me he's a top 10 quarterback, I need him to do like what he did, like when he ran out the pocket a little bit and got that first down.
Yeah.
He needs to do that a little bit more. When the, you know what I'm saying?
A little bit more.
At the end of the game, when things not looking right in the middle of the field, okay, do what the other quarterbacks do. Steve Young said this on multiple occasions on KNBR and on the other channel, 95 The Game. He says these quarterbacks in this modern time need to know how to use their legs. It's yards out there for them to get if they do use their legs because of how the game is played today. And I thought if Purdy just can run out to the edges a couple times, get 6 to 7 yards, keep the clock, stopping the clock, getting positive yardage, especially since we're not running the ball very well, that helps loosen up the defense. That helps the defensive coordinator have to go in there and say, okay, he's been an option to run the ball, not just go back in the backfield and just scramble back there. But now he's using his athleticism to make some plays. And so I think that's the next progression. But I think also Kyle Shanahan doesn't want that to happen, though.
That's interesting.
Worowski says Cowboys fans sound like they can't move on from that ass whooping 42-10. Just a little reminder.
Yeah, man. Cowboy fans. That was the Cowboy Super Bowl. Oh my God,
Skip
we're gonna beat the
Bayless Super
Niners.
Bowl.
No. Yeah, Skip Bayless. And he threw his jersey. He threw his Dak jersey in the trash. What's up with Dak in the pause and the tush push jokes, bro? Like that was definitely a pause moment. He shouldn't have even opened his mouth. That goes to show you the type of quarterback the Dallas fans have.
For sure.
I'll say this. I think Brock Purdy, he didn't really have an offseason workout. Okay. He came off the surgery for his elbow. He pretty much came right back and just started playing. He was throwing all types of picks in practice. And I think it's because the defense is good. The defense is a good defense. But he's just really coming into his own. Adversity either builds you up or breaks you down. I personally don't think the adversity he's going through right now is going to break him. I think it's going to make him better. Again, Tom Brady, remember Peyton Manning, his first season? Peyton Manning wasn't that great his first year. I'm not comparing him to Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning was terrible his first year, threw over 20 picks.
Horrible.
But
horrible.
I think what happened to Brock is that when we shifted from the Trey Lance situation, that's when people was like, okay, he doesn't get the moments and the opportunity to make hiccups. Because y'all said that Trey couldn't make the hiccups because he'll be pulled and another quarterback would come in for him because the time that we have with this team is right now. You see what I'm saying? We can't have the ability to make mistakes or have to go through growing pains. That's why we're moving all away from you because we got a guy who's ready now. And so as much as I again, me and Jesse Naylor talked about this, I would want him to have the ability to, mature into the position. But now we're going to be hypocritical because this is what everybody was propping them up. And unfortunately, you prop them up so high that when these type of games happen, people are going to slam them down. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you gave us this perception of we moving you out the way. He's the real deal. This, you know what I'm saying? When these type of comments came out, he's elevated now to the level of, okay, he's a top 5 or top 10 quarterback. So now you got the pressure of that same quarterback.
I mean, the whole Trey Lance thing and Trey Lance saga and Purdy saga, there was a huge rift between the 49er fan base. I was really
I'm
pushing.
still a Trey Lance fan, man. I wish he would.
I was still pushing to see what we had in Lance. But I don't make the decisions. I'm not going to cry over spilled milk at the same time. And if Kyle's saying he has his guy and he's the real deal, I was very skeptical. But I really liked what I saw in those first few games. And even the Cowboys game was pretty awesome. And he faced some adversity in the Cleveland game. In this game, the defense couldn't get off the field, so he kind of had to rush everything. And we only put him the ball once, but it just. And on top of that, he didn't have his full arsenal. And I don't want to put too much blame on that. He didn't have Trent Williams, but It sucked because I just felt like each and every time we were just waiting. Like I was waiting, like when's Purdy going to get back on the field? When's he going to get back on the field? And it
Me
just
too.
felt like it was rushed and it wasn't the same feel of the 49er offense where it's working like a well-oiled machine, so to speak. So, I mean, I like Purdy. I still think he's a pretty good quarterback. I never ever said he was elite. Who knows? Maybe one day he could be. And they were saying on the broadcast today, he even told one of the announcers that he's not at full arm strength yet. So hopefully that means there's some room for improvement. We'll see.
Hey, cause we saw that. Yeah. Look, I ain't gonna lie, I did make a joke about that when he threw the ball to Brandon Ayuk. That was the last pass, the pass attempt that Brandon Ayuk got when he threw the ball in the dirt, and it was like a fingertip catch. And I was like, man, if you had
man, I thought Ayuk had that one.
Hey,
me too. I did.
Hey,
I was like, oh wow, that was a really nice catch.
Hey, Brock needed to go see Alice or somebody, man. He need to get that thing up. You know what I'm saying? That thing dropped down. I said, hold on, Brock, baby, you need to go pop on them blue pills and blue chews, boy. Get that thing up.
Little Wayne told Skip that the Niners would beat the Cowboys. That's funny. Okay.
Man, I think I was just going to say this last thing. I think that Brock Purdy makes the necessary adjustments to be the player that he is. I'm sorry, I'm not betting on Sam Darnold. I don't think anyone else here is, right? Brock Purdy can be the quarterback the 49ers need. He could be the quarterback that they were looking for in Trey Lance. He doesn't have the arm of Trey Lance, the athleticism of Trey Lance. At the same time, he does enough, plus more at times, to help the 49ers win. I feel like today was coaching. If Kyle Shanahan said kind of what Bill Walsh to do to Joe Montana, where he would just say, hey, go Joe, go do what you do best, Joe. We're losing. Bring us back. If you do something like that to Brock Purdy can react to that in the proper way. He has the support of his teammates around him and those things. But I felt like, again, towards the end, they're marching downfield. He looked flustered. He didn't even look confident anymore. I've never seen Brock Purdy not look confident. Even last week, he did enough to get the Niners in the position to win the game against the Browns. He looked confident, even though he had a bad game. This time, he just didn't look like he was in it. He was kind of like, throws that lazy pass to, I think it was Ray McLeod. I think he was trying to go to,
I'm sick of seeing Ray out there. I'm sorry, man. I just want to say that.
You don't like Ray?
I don't know, man. I want to see Ronnie Bell. I want to see Ronnie Bell get some opportunities. I saw Ronnie Bell sitting his ass on the bench. I want to see his ass out there, man.
You're rookie, though, B. You already know. You that rookie out there. You.
I know Shanahan doesn't play.
Yeah, he's not gonna play you. I heard Ronnie Bell backs up Ayuk, and then Raymond McLeod backs up Debo.
Yeah,
so
pretty much.
And
listen, be the other way around.
Before you go out of here, I'll be real quick. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. When Brock threw that hospital ball to George Kittle, I ain't gonna lie, I had a flashback.
I had a Jimmy flashback there. That was the first time, honestly, in my opinion, that I saw a hospital ball from Brock, and that did scare me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it though, man. But
I got you. Hey, shout out to everybody in the chat. Worowski said this. He said, Cowboys are so trash, LeBron went back to being a Browns fan. So
LeBron jumps all over the place.
Hey, we appreciate both people in both chats on both channels, by the way. We're at the dual stream on Twin Empires channel, as well as my channel, 49er Minded. So please like and subscribe on both channels. Appreciate all the people who are active in both chats.
For sure.
It's late. It's late on the West Coast. It's even more late on the East Coast. So appreciate all you do. Even you Cowboys fans out there, probably Niner fans on here as well, the regulars and some new people that showed up. Shout out to Britz. Britz says the 2-game slump, we're stacking points week 1 and through week 5. The league adjusts quickly and broadcaster adjusts as well. I totally agree with that. Cleveland's defense was a stout number 1 tonight. It was high blitz scenarios playing from behind. Exactly. And Ronnie Bell needs more snaps. Let's see what this Choctaw. What a weird name, Choctaw, Montana. Says, ha, weak step, y'all. Rose game up.
I'm gonna get I don't know
why I bothered reading it. But make sure to follow Steve on his Instagram. The description's in the his Instagram link is in the description box of this video. Twin Empires channel is in the description box of this video. If you guys have anything you want to say in general before we get going, let them know.
Well, I want to say this real quick. The Browns may have won that game last week, but their defense is overrated. I'm gonna say that. Then I'm going to also say Minnesota is not that good. So the Niners are still the team to beat in the NFL, and I think the Niners are still going to go to Super Bowl.
Hope
I
so.
agree with we going to Super Bowl. Oh man, it sucks if I say that them teams ain't that good because then they'll say, "Well, what happened to us?" The Browns just got 38 points scored on them yesterday. So anyway,
Exactly.
I saw that.
Exactly.
But man, listen here, man. First and foremost, it was a quick little stream, man. I asked my mans to hop on. Appreciate you, man. First and foremost, for the opportunity to hop on. It was good to meet you, Steve, man. You know what I'm saying? Big ups to everybody in the chat, man. Thank you guys for the positive and negative comments. But first and foremost, we welcome you guys to come in and holler at us, you know what I'm saying, after this game. So thank you all, man. Make sure y'all get a salute, but then also make sure y'all go hit that like button on my boy channel, man. Also then, you know, run on over to my channel. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe button too as well, man. We appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? And so big ups to each and every last one of you, man. We'll be back. You know what I'm saying? We will fry up some Bengals this Sunday. And yeah, man, y'all be safe out there. It's Twin Tuesday coming up, baby.
There you go. So appreciate everybody in the chat again. John V, shout out to him for the Locker Room Rant. Check out his YouTube channel, The Locker Room Rant. He's been on here plenty of times. It's a great show, gentlemen. Yeah, it was a losing effort. 17-22 49ers go down to the Minnesota Vikings. Cousins played one of his better games of his career, and we had to fall and lose to him, unfortunately. So it was a tough loss. You know, what can we do? We can't win every game, but we went on a 2-game win streak. From here on out, let's put up or shut up. We got the Bengals next week in Levi's at Levi's Stadium, and then we have a bye week coming up. So let's see what we can do. Norm's here's a little Johnny Cunt lately, but he says plenty of time to bounce back. We're 5-2. Let's go. Britt says, "One love, y'all. Let's go Niners next week. We home, gonna get the W. We need to." So appreciate everybody on here. No, it was a tough loss. Oh, yeah, Warriors start off tomorrow. That's right. If you want to plug the Warriors, Dub Nation. Shout out to my fellow Dub Nation. Buddy right here, Twin Empire. We did some Warriors shows in the past. Actually, but the first time I met you was a celebration for the Warriors' last championship. So, God willing, we can do that again. Who knows? We definitely took our shots that night. We're not taking any shots tonight. That's for sure. Not doing the shots tonight. And yeah. So again, G Rod says it's a long season. We can't be a 2-4 Vikings team and playing better teams. Losing with we've been sloppy lately. We shouldn't be sloppy. One more thing from 49er Dude says I'm 10 more games. I'm not going to worry about the 2 L's. We'll be all right. Again, thank you guys for watching 49er Minded, where we get into the minds of 49er fans. You know, it was a sad losing effort. Like I said, 17-22. Time to bounce back at Levi's against the Bengals and forget about this losing streak. We got to start a new winning streak.
For sure.
Again, thank you for watching 49er Minded, where we get into the minds of 49er fans. Keep repping those 49ers and stay 49er minded. Peace. Let's go. Let's beat the Bengals. Come on, let's go. Get that win streak going. Bang, bang, Niner gang.
Don't watch the TV tomorrow.
Come on, 49ers fans. Let's get it.
Because it's 49er mind.
We got to do this one time for the Empire.
It's 49er mind. It's 49er mind.
We gotta get that brick by brick done quick.
49er mind.
Yeah. Yo, we can't listen to them haters, man.
49er mind.
We from the Bay.
49er mind.
We them San Francisco 49ers.
49er mind.
We got that red and gold blood inside us.
49er mind.